Đây là thành phố Örebro, thành phố đứng hàng thứ 6 của đất nước Thụy Điển. Tổng số người là 126.604. Tổng diện tích là 1.384 km vuông. Đây là thành phố thứ 6 của đất nước Thụy Điển. Nơi đây có nhiều cảnh đẹp, có những cái di tích của vua chúa và những lâu đài cổ của ngày xưa để lại nha mọi người. Ở đây cũng rất đẹp, mùa hè mùa đông rồi cũng nhìn rất đẹp mọi người, nhất là mùa hè vào dịp giờ đây cũng rất tốt. Ở đây thì buôn bán và kinh tế cũng làm rất ổn định mọi người. Thì nói chung ở Thụy Điển nơi nào thì nó cũng gần giống và sẽ xích chút xíu thôi. Thì hôm nay tôi nói thêm ở Thụy Điển này, mỗi người đi làm đóng thuế cao mà hãy làm lương cao thì đóng thuế cao, còn làm lương trung bình là phải đóng 30% trở lên đó mọi người. Nhưng mà ở đây được cái là đóng thuế cao nhưng mà người ta lo cho an sinh xã hội, người già, trẻ em và nói chung là tất cả nhiều lắm. Ở ai thì nói sao nha, thật thì Thụy Điển này có nhiều cái cũng rất tốt mọi người. Khám bệnh thì trả tiền, nhưng mà khi vào bệnh viện mà điều trị rồi không có tốn đồng bạc. Chẳng hạn như tôi bệnh gan, tôi coi trong cái toa thuốc nó khoảng 400-500 triệu bên Việt Nam mà tôi trị không có tốn tiền mọi người. Tôi có bệnh gan C mà cũng hay lắm. Nói trị 3 tháng nhưng mà cho tôi uống thuốc có 3 tuần lên là kiểm tra hết rồi kêu tôi bỏ. Từ đó tới sau tôi bệnh gan tôi hết người, nhưng mà trong khi đó lúc trước nặng nó bị 2 dấu trong trọng, mỗi năm phải đi kiểm tra lần 2 lần đó mọi người. Đời sống đây nói chung thì rất tốt. Đây là Örebro, mọi người ủng hộ tôi nha.
Örebro Sweden. Örebro is an urban area on the western shore of Hjälmaren in Närke, as well as the central city of Örebro Municipality and the seat of Örebro County. Örebro is Sweden's 7th largest urban area with 128,658 inhabitants, 2023. In the urban area, 8. Örebro was known as the Shoe City during the first half of the 20th century, as a large number of shoe factories were located there. These are now closed. However, Örebro is still to some extent an industrial city. Although the city has increasingly become characterized by services and education during the latter part of the 20th century. Major employers are Örebro University, œrɛ́bruঃ and Örebro University Hospital. Örebro is a trade and logistics city with a strategic location 200 kilometers from Stockholm, 330 kilometers from Oslo and 280 kilometers from Gothenburg. 9. The place name according to an older view, put forward by Erik Gustaf Geyer. 10. Œrɛ́sundsbro or Öresund, cf. or, later Öresund, was the original name for Örebro. This older etymology is now abandoned, and it is considered that Ira is an incorrect and misunderstood form of Ura in Örebro. 11. The name form Ira was used in the name of the city's football facility, Äärevallen, for more than 80 years. In the late 12th or early 13th century, Örebro was mentioned, including in a Latin donation letter from Earl Birger Brosa, died 1202-12. Although no older privileges than from 1404 are known. 13. The oldest bridge over the Svartån was still called Örebron, now Storbron, until the mid-17th century. And it may therefore be to the bridge itself that the oldest documented name Örebro refers to. 14. The next known spelling of the place name is Örebro, 1260. The city gets its name from the bridge that existed where the Örebro Ridge is broken through by the Svartån River. 15. Or is an Old Norse word, EYRR, in Icelandic, which means roughly gravel. Bank. 15. Engelbrektsson with Örebro Town Hall on Stortorget. Photographer, Kurt Gutlin. Örebro Castle around 1680. From Suecia Antiqua et Hodierna. And thus probably not entirely reliable. Map of Örebro from the 1790s Town Hall. Carl Johan and the Castle Hjalmar Bergman in Wadkoping. History Örebro is located on and around a low pebble ridge on the Närkeslätten, on both sides of the Svartorn River, where the Svartorn River broke through the ridge. The gravel made the river shallow and possible to cross. In time, a bridge was built over the ford, which, when it rested on the banks of gravel, came to be called Örebron. This bridge, as well as the existence of 7, still preserved, country roads, meant that there were good conditions for settlement. The 7 country roads are the road towards Västergötland, which was part of Eriksgatan. The road towards Östergötland over Tylöskogen towards Skänninge and Linköping. The Pilgrimsvägen towards Motala and Vadstena. The Lättstigen towards Värmland and Tingvalla. The road north towards Västmanland and Dalarna. The road towards Fellingsbro and Arboga, part of Eriksgatan. A more southerly alternative road to Arboga was Ramstigen. The road south of Hjälmaren towards Vingåker and Nyköping. In addition to the roads, there was a sea connection across Hjälmaren to other parts of the Mälardalen. This connection played an exceptionally large role, both in summer and winter. 16. The Battle of Örebro took place in 1161, when, according to the Västgötland Act, King Magnus Henriksson was deposed by Karl Sverkersson. Sometime in the 13th century, Örebro is believed to have received city privileges. At that time, the city of Örebro consisted only of the blocks between Storbron and the western part of Stortorget, as well as the blocks around the square. The main street through Örebro, the so-called Gatun, today's Drottninggatan Storgatan, ran from south to north, although with a different route than today. It was the city's only street for a long time. It became interesting for those in power to control this junction. A royal estate is documented at Örebro in 1347. It was probably King Magnus Eriksson who had a fortress built on the islet where the current Örebro Castle is located in the 1350s. 17. During the Middle Ages, Örebro was involved in many conflicts. The fortress was expanded into a castle in the 14th century and was besieged on several occasions. At the Carmelite monastery, Vorfruklostret, see below, a school, Örebro School, was established as early as the 14th century. In the 15th century, what was then Sweden was ruled from Denmark by King Eric of Pomerania, who saw Sweden as a vassal state to Denmark. The provinces in Sweden were ruled by Swedish bailiffs who were renegades. Perhaps the most famous conquest, liberation from the Danes, of Örebro Castle was made by Engelbrekt Engelbrektsson in 1434. The castle was later granted to him. A small market town soon grew up at the new bridge. During the late 16th century, Örebro was part of the Duchy of Duke Charles, later Charles IX. The city was granted exclusive rights to the iron trade in the region, and Örebro merchants brokered the export of Bergslagens iron and in return sold food to the miners. The population of Örebro rose to 600 people in the 16th century. Several parliaments were held in Örebro in the 16th century. King Charles IX rebuilt the castle into a modern Renaissance castle. The county councils were held in Örebro, as well as the large annual market, Hindusmässan, Hindriksmässan. The